So, congratulations, Srinivas, and all my best wishes for you. Thinking about Srinivas, actually, I would like to just share 4 aspects of his personality which have always inspired me and fascinated me. First thing is steadfastness and meticulousness. I just wanted to give an example. Way back in 2000, 97 to 2000, when we were actually doing our post-graduations, his thesis cost him around 1 lakh or more in those days. I would have spent maybe 500 or 1000 rupees on my thesis, but I was so surprised for his passion and the way he used to work up his thrombosis cases, hepatic vein thrombosis cases, and the length to which he used to follow up to document it, and that was amazing. And I think he maintains that extreme passion for knowledge and for science all throughout. The second quality I always loved in him was his absolute uncompromising nature when it came to what he believed is against the interest of his patient. This included instances where both of us had a fight, and he was absolutely uncompromising and saying that I don't believe this is right and I will not agree. And that's an absolute must, I understand, for a critical care physician who's actually taking care of patients' lives, and I really respect him for that. Third thing that I don't know many people are aware or not, but I'm certainly aware of is, however he would look from outside, he's so tender and so humane at his heart, and if he thinks somebody is his friend, I know he would go to extreme lengths to actually maintain that relationship, to foster that relationship, or to take care of him, or to reciprocate that kind of friendship back to people, which is very, very rare. The fourth aspect is what I'm sure all of you are discussing, is his passion for teaching. Even in post-graduation, when Srinivas was teaching, the class was meant for 5 people and would end up with 50, 100, 150 by the end of the class. That was the passion that he used to emit, and that was how popular he was. So I'm sure that all of us will have many more years of excellent teaching from him. Wish you all the best, Srinivas, and all the best. Thank you so much. And thank you for taking me in.
Hi everybody. Hi Srinu. It's my pride to speak few words about Dr. Samavedam Srinivas. He's a rare amalgamation of intelligence and hard work. Srinu is my junior colleague in post-graduation. When I first met him, I know I was with a very special person. I was impressed with his zeal to learn and striving hard for perfection. I saw him evolving from enthusiastic learner to an accomplished teacher. I witnessed his teaching prowess multiple times when I sent my post-graduation students to his lectures. I wish him all the best in his future endeavor in teaching.
We live in confusing and uncertain times. The last 2 years of the global pandemic has shown that nothing can be taken for granted anymore. When the future looks bleak, we invariably look for a good leader, a mentor, a guide, or a guru to show us the way. As a country, as people, or as doctors, we desperately need someone who can fit the mold of being a mentor and a role model. Someone who is not only a leader and a guide, but someone who is a champion of compassion and truth. Someone who combines excellence and relevance, competence and integrity, creativity and perseverance, courage and consistency. Srinivas, you've been all this and more, and I'm privileged to have been associated with you in your professional development as you were embarking on a career in intensive care nearly 20 years ago. Looking back, I derive great satisfaction in knowing that you imbibe not only the knowledge and expertise in the field of intensive care, but also attributes of a great doctor, teacher, researcher, and medical leader. I take this opportunity to wish you all the best. Thank you.
I first met Srinivas nearly 20 years ago at Manipal Hospital when we worked together. And I remember seeing him for the first time and thinking to myself, who's this young man who seems to be so knowledgeable and seems to have every answer to any kind of conundrum that we may face in the ICU. Subsequently, he has evolved into a wonderful teacher, a great academician, and I wish you all the very best, Srinivas, for your future career on this day. Thanks a lot.
Srinivas, it is a pleasure to felicitate you on your award. I've known you from the time you were a student, and I particularly remember and cherish the fact that I was your examiner at the FNB, where your answers dumbfounded some of the examiners, and you had to be rescued for knowing more than you should be at that level of your education. But through the entire time that I've known you, you've just grown from strength to strength. As an educator, I think you have been single-handedly responsible not only for the growth of training in Hyderabad, but it's also something that you have contributed quite significantly to the national scene as well. Your conduct of the large medical meetings that we've had of the ISCCM have been absolutely flawless, and the content was something that I always will remember and cherish. I think you deserve this award, and I hope very sincerely that this is just the first step towards greater glory. I wish you all the best in your career, Srinivas. I'm pretty certain that the future is going to be absolutely great.
Very happy to note that the Indian Society of Critical Care Medicine Hyderabad chapter is honoring Dr. Srinivas. I have known Dr. Srinivas for over 15 years. He's a very accomplished intensivist, who's a very good clinician, an academician, a good teacher, researcher, and an administrator, all packaged into one. Dr. Srinivas has contributed immensely to the progress of critical care in the country, and I want to congratulate him and wish him all the best and God's blessings as he continues to serve the critical care society and the country at large. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to congratulate Dr. Srinivas Samavedam, who is a good friend of mine, and I have come to know that he is being awarded or his work is being recognized for his continuous work in field of critical care medicine. He has been a continuous source of inspiration for many newcomers. His contribution in country has been immense for ISCCM, both at the central as well as local committee. Srinivas seems to be a good teacher for all newcomers, and I expect and hope that he will continue to affect or continue to influence a lot more to coming. I congratulate and wish him all the success, and thank you Hyderabad for having this gesture to appreciate his efforts for field of the critical care medicine. Thank you.
Morning everyone, I am Dr. Manoj Singh from Apollo Hospital, Ahmedabad. Talking about Dr. Srinivas, he has been the guru of critical care right from our FNB days. After Jose Chaku sir, he has been the great guide and mentor to me in my career. He also taught me what to do in intensive care and what not to do. Apart from that, I have learned my driving skills also from him. And since last almost 17, 18 years, if I am stuck in this part of the field, I just don't even hesitate to call him. And as a big brother, he's always ready to help me. Whatever clinical challenges we are stuck in, be it COVID, non-COVID, intensive care, actually is so easily understood from him, and even bedside clinical things. Still, he is the master craftsman of critical care. I wish him all the best, and this is a good endeavor to felicitate him. And in my family, I have already told that if something goes wrong in our health, he still remains the first choice doctor in the world. Thank you, and see you soon, Srinivas, in Critical Care 2022.
Hi, I know Srinivas Samavedam for the last 17 years, and I must say that Srinivas is a shining example of how exactly an intensivist should be. As an ICU specialist, he is too good. I would always rate him as among the top intensivists of India. I often say that he's a walking encyclopedia. Anything, even today, if I have any doubts in critical care, I don't hesitate to cross-verify with him. As a teacher, we have all got to see some of his students have been in top positions everywhere. It's just you need to say that you work with Dr. Srinivas Samavedam, and that will be his CV. That's how it is. And to Cherry, this whole thing, he's a wonderful human being. I always say that a doctor should be first a good human being and then a doctor, and he is a lovely human being, and I wish him many more years of critical care teaching, and hope he produces many more students in the coming years. God bless him. Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Srinivas. It's a great news to know that you are being felicitated by the Hyderabad chapter, a well-deserved honor indeed. I have known you as a budding intensivist, my colleague, my roommate, as a good friend, and in various other capacities, and now of course as a professional intensive care colleague. You have been a role model as a student, you have been a role model as a teacher, and I'm sure you will inspire generations of intensive care physicians. It's been a great pleasure to be your friend and colleague, and it's been an honor to be an intensive care colleague of yours as well. Wish you all the best for a very great, bright future.
Srinivas, wonderful to know that ISCCM Hyderabad is felicitating you as a wonderful teacher and for your contribution to the society. And I can vouch for it that I think you have been the pillar of strength for ISCCM and for making sure that critical care and sharing of knowledge in the field of critical care medicine is courtesy you. Keep on doing the good work, and we expect much more from you in the coming years. Have a great day and a great year.
Srinivas, greetings from a small cold island in Europe. I am very glad to hear about the honor that's being bestowed upon you by the Hyderabad branch of Indian Society of Critical Care Medicine. Very well deserved honor, couldn't have happened to a better person. Enjoy your evening, all the very best, and many congratulations again. And thanks for association with you over these many years. Thanks and goodbye.
Hi Srinivas, Anuj here. First of all, a big thanks for being a friend, being a colleague, and sharing your knowledge with all of us, and also to train, I think, most of the critical care guys who are around directly, indirectly, and being a mentor for so many. Carry on with the great work that you're doing, and churn out more and more of people in critical care who will take care of more and more ill patients that we are getting nowadays. And I think you have changed the way critical care was seen in India, and you have been instrumental in getting it onto a bigger platform.
Dear friends, this is a moment of great pleasure and pride that Hyderabad branch of Indian Society of Critical Care Medicine is felicitating Dr. Srinivas Samavedam for his contribution in the field of critical care. Dr. Samavedam is an excellent clinician, an inspiring teacher, and a selfless and empathetic colleague. It has been an honor to work with him, and on the behalf of entire Indian Society of Critical Care Medicine, I extend my congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so thrilled to note that the good tradition of honoring our revered teachers is being continued by our beloved Hyderabad ISCCM branch. It's a special day for all of us today to felicitate a very, very valuable and notable intensivist of Hyderabad, Dr. Samavedam Srinivas. Dr. Samavedam Srinivas is an embodied example and a model for any intensivist who wants to aspire to become as solid, as renowned, and as reputed as Dr. Srinivas. He has not only withstood the values that are demanded out of an intensivist, a teacher, a leader, and an administrator, but also always stood an example of a man who stands by his principle. I give my heartiest congratulations to Dr. Srinivas and good wishes to all the leadership and members of ISCCM Hyderabad. Long live ISCCM, long live ISCCM Hyderabad. Thank you.
Hi Srinivas, just want to congratulate you on awesome achievement. I'm so happy that Hyderabad is going to be felicitating you for all the contributions you made to the society as an organizing secretary for multiple critical care conferences, General Secretary of the Society and Vice President of the Society, a person who I know is genuine in his efforts and means well for the society and critical care education in the country. So happy to be associated with you. Good luck and wishing you many more accolades. Thank you, Srinivas. Have a great day.
Hello friends, it gives me great delight in congratulating my good friend Srini in being felicitated as Distinguished Teacher by ISCCM Hyderabad chapter. I have known Srini since last 15 years and I've seen very closely his commitment, his passion and grit towards teaching and training intensive care students over last many years. And his commitment towards teaching has shaped intensive care to a large extent in this region of our country. I sincerely believe the future of intensive care in our country is championed by great teachers like Srini. So I wish him all the best with prayers to Almighty to bless him with more energy to champion future intensive care to greater heights, train more students under him and create great torchbearers for intensive care in our country. Wishing you all the best, my good friend Srini. God bless you. Thank you.
Hi dear Srinivas, many congratulations. I was just informed by Dr. Ganesham and I read it on the social media as well that the ISCCM Hyderabad branch is going to felicitate you as a teacher. I must say for all of us as intensivists who have worked very hard and toiled across for several years, almost 2 decades over, being felicitated as the teacher is, I think, the highest honor that we can get. And my friend, you are right there, as tall as one could stand for it as a teacher, guiding your students always in the right direction, with all the honesty and integrity, teaching them. There are very few examples which would be compared to you in the country. And I must say that you have always given students the prime importance in your intensive care career along with your patients. I again take this opportunity to thank you and to achieve many more accolades and love from your students. Thank you very much.
Kind of good words, my colleagues, my students, my first student ever in critical care, my students, my colleagues, my contemporaries have said. I never ever imagined that I have made a difference to so many people. I thank God for guiding me, giving me that opportunity of helping people learn or realize what they have been made to realize. Some of the people who spoke in the video recordings, Shankar Prasad, he he's been with me. Despite the fact that I've hit him for 4 sixes in an over when I was representing public school versus All Saints in 1986, he still has good words to say about me. That's something I always cherish. Of course, I'm here because of my parents, my mother, my father, who are probably traveling a lot more than spending with us. But the way they have worked in their careers probably has rubbed off on me. In fact, Vijay Kumar sir is my mother's student actually. Probably he would have spent more time with her than me in my childhood. But looking at the way they have worked is probably, I don't know, they have never taught me how to work, how to, be a doctor. That's what I think I have learned to do. I only would, want to recall a few landmarks for me in my career. One is, my first landmark was in Medicity Hospital in the year 95-96 when I finished my internship and joined there. The team at Medicity was like the West Indies team of the 80s. Right? There was Gordon Greenwich, Desmond Haynes, followed by Richards, followed by Gomes, Lloyd, Dujon, Marshall, Holding, Garner, Roberts. Vijay Kumar sir was there, Gordon Greenwich, Ashfaq Hassan, Desmond Haynes, Manjunath Dinakar, Viv Richards. As a person who had just finished MBBS, sitting with these stalwarts in that hospital, these are the people, Dr. Krishna Reddy, cardiologist, V.K.S. Shastri, cardiologist, P.N. Rao, gastroenterologist, Ravinder Reddy, surgeon. These people at 2 a.m. in the morning would call us. They were doing night duties in respiratory ICU. Dr. Sir used to do night duties in respiratory ICU. Dr. Dinakar used to do duties in the medical ICU. Dr. Krishna Reddy used to do duties in the cardiac ICU. They used to call us at 2 a.m. in the morning and teach us ABG. They used to teach us ECG. Dr. Dinakar used to tell us about antibiotics. I was surprised. Now, that is probably something we owe it to them. If I am here standing and I have such good words about me spoken by my colleagues, my contemporaries, my juniors, the credit is not mine. The credit goes to people like them who have taught me. Second landmark is in the year 2000 when I came back from England. I always wanted to be a gastroenterologist and I stood first in the state DM entrance in gastroenterology. At that time I was working as a junior consultant in Medicity Hospital. I went and told Dr. Dinakar that I got a seat in DM Gastro and I'm leaving tomorrow. He told me, don't resign, go on leave because that specialty is not meant for you, you will come back. I said, what is this guy telling me? I got state first rank in DM and that's my whole career from 97 to 2000 during my post-graduation, I dreamt of becoming a gastroenterologist. I read Sheila Sherlock. I read every damn book in gastroenterology. I used to go to Nageshwar Reddy's OPD and sit with him. My thesis was on gastroenterology. I thought, this guy is just being selfish. I went one day, attended my course for one day, and I knew it's not for me. That is the guidance I got, and I'm here because of that's one landmark. The next landmark happened in the year 2004. As Ghanshyam said, when I finished my course, Dr. Jose Chaco offered me a consultant job in Manipal Hospital, Bangalore. And Dr. Vinit Nair asked me to come to Australia. I was torn because I always wanted to work in India. I never had a passion. I never was enamored by the West. I was a firm believer that your intelligence is directly proportional to the amount of melanin in your skin. The darker you are, the more intelligent you are. And I'm a firm believer in it. And I'm convinced, having worked abroad, that is true. It is true. So, I didn't want to go. But one sentence from Dr. Nair, he said, Srinivas, you think you have achieved everything, you are not a finished product. You need to come to Australia to become a finished product. Fine. He got a job for me and I went there. I didn't learn intensive care there. In fact, I taught some of them, we taught myself, Sunil Karant, Manoj Singh, Jayanti, Kartik Atre, Sumesh Arora. These are the team of registrars, all FNB grads from India who are working as registrars in that ICU, registrars, drawing blood samples, putting catheters. What I learned was commitment to the patient, punctuality and equality. You could stand in the center of the ICU and question the senior most consultant, whether it was Ash Banerjee or Eddie Stakowski, whoever he was. If you are right, you could say, look Ash, this is wrong, what you're doing is wrong. And I also learned how to respect the nurses in the ICU. That is something which is missing in this country at that time. Now, I think we have learned all those things and we are better. But there are a few people who have influenced my life, apart from Dr. Dinakar, Dr. Vijay Kumar sir, Dr. Vinit Nair. One person whom I still idolize and I still look up to is Dr. Somaraju sir. 5:30 in the morning, this man at 65 years of age walks up and down the 7 floors of Banjara Care, sees every single patient who is admitted in that hospital, whether it is under him or under any other consultant. Some patient says, I'm worried about his condition. He will see the condition, he will write a note, and he will ensure that the consultant speaks to him and discusses the case. And I'm sure Ghanshyam will also. And I'm fortunate that I happened to work in Care Hospital when Dr. Somaraju, Dr. Rajgopal Raju, Dr. Krishnam Raju, Krishna Reddy, right, Rajshekhar Chakravarti, JMK Murthy. These are people who are textbooks in their field. We were fortunate, both me and Shyam, that we worked with them, and we are today what we are because of people like this. These are some people who have made a huge influence on my life. I cannot say anything about my family because it would be too much of a statement to say that I am indebted to my family. But again, I'll be failing in my, what I'm doing now if I don't doff my hat to my wife. She's tolerated me, right? She's put up with me. I've been away from this country. I've been away from home. And in fact, I spent more time in the ICU in my first 10 years of my life in India than I spent at home. But still, they have supported me, they have encouraged me, and I'm sure they are the ones who stole my album and gave it to Ghanshyam to put up with my daughters. Most probably it's my daughters who stole my album and gave it to Ghanshyam. Most likely my daughters. So that's how it is. My students have been my source of encouragement, and I learn a lot from all of them, right from Pradeep Reddy down to my current students, Ravani, Kiran, Shabir, Dinesh, Reshma. These are all my students who teach me every day. When they read and come, they teach new things because I may not read what they are reading. That's what I tell them. If you are a final year exam going DMB student in the ICU, I should be shaking in my boots to ask you a question. That's what I'm expecting, and they are doing it. So that's what I can do. But one guy who has stood with me through thick and thin, not expecting anything from me, tolerating my idiosyncrasies, is Ghanshyam. There have been occasions when we had conflicts, when we had arguments. At the end of the day, he realized, or I realized, that both of us are talking the same language. At the end, before I finish, again, I am extremely grateful to Subbareddy and Pawan and Madhu and the rest of the ISCCM and the preceding executive committees, Venkat and others, for actually giving me this honor. I don't know whether I am so deserving of this, but ultimately I got it and I am very grateful to it. But a few lessons I have learned in my life as an intensivist. Pick your battles judiciously. I have lost years in my career because I picked the battle with the wrong person at the right time or with the right person at the wrong time. I cannot tell you examples, there are many. Shyam is witness to it. Some of you also would have been witness to it. Pick your battles judiciously. Fight your battles to the finish. But stand by your commitment. Stand by your conviction. If you are convinced that what you are talking is the truth, please stick to it. Don't change your stand every 10 minutes or every hour or every day. That's what will get you the credibility which you need. the end, I would say that we are very, very fortunate that we have chosen a specialty which is at the most dynamic specialty in the whole field of medicine. If you look at entire specialties in medicine, intensive care or critical care is one of only two specialties where care is incorporated in the name of the specialty. No other specialty. You can call it cardiology, you can call it nephrology, you can call it gastroenterology, you can call it hematology, neurology. There is no neurological care. There is no cardiac care, right? There is only critical care or intensive care, and there is palliative care. Nothing else. So if there is something that makes a difference to patient, it is intensive care. We are all fortunate that we had that clarity of thought that we will do this, because we are the ones who will make a difference to the sick patient. Anybody can claim credit for it. We are open for it. So thank you very much. I am indeed humbled, and emotionally I am drained today. So I may not be speaking to you as fluently as I would have if I had come with a PowerPoint presentation or I was in my normal this thing, because it is psychologically and emotionally very, very draining on me that the goodwill I have seen today is something I will go to my grave with. Thank you very much.